Professor Lim San San.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to speak on the Payment Services Bill. I wish to focus on the consumer protections that will be strengthened with this bill. Specifically, the bill will regulate the issuance of e-money so that the funds we have in our e-wallets, including those for peer-to-peer transfers, will be protected by legislation. Personal e-wallets will also receive additional safeguards in the form of e-wallets and transfer limits, thereby according greater protection to vulnerable users such as the elderly. These measures will help to boost consumer confidence in e-payments and give our fintech sector a further shot in the arm. Indeed, electronic payments have deep roots in Singapore. Over 3 decades ago, in March 1985, the government launched the National Campaign to Minimize Cash Transactions to urge Singaporeans to undertake more financial transactions electronically so as to increase productivity, reduce costs, and make cashless transactions a way of life. This 3-month campaign successfully convinced more Singaporeans to switch to receiving their salaries through direct credit to the bank, pay bills electronically via gyro, and make purchases through the electronic funds transfer at point of sale service. With that historical context in mind, we need to ask why Singapore is not even further ahead in realizing our vision for a cashless society. While Singapore is widely regarded as a fintech hub, it is also common to hear observations that we lag behind our regional neighbours in areas such as mobile payments. Our relatively slower adoption of mobile payments is somewhat anomalous considering Singapore's early embrace of cashless payments. Being a first mover can indeed be a mixed blessing. Precisely because of our more mature financial ecosystem, consumers are well accustomed to and very well served by nets and credit cards. The relative advantage of newer e-payment systems is thus not as significantly felt. Cash also remains king. An MAS-commissioned KPMG study in 2016 found that cash is used in 60% of all non-stored value facility transactions. Cash is also the favored payment option for small value transactions, such as in hawker centres, convenience stores, and taxis. The introduction of automated cash collection machines in hawker centres and supermarkets may also further entrench our reliance on cash. Yet the benefits of going cashless are considerable. The same KPMG study estimated that processing cash and checks in terms of their storage, transportation, security and incineration costs $2 billion per year, or around 0.5% of our GDP. In many respects, therefore, e-payments are eminently superior, and we must zero in on the probable causes for consumer resistance to the newer e-payment services out there. I've heard concerns, even from acquaintances in their 20s and 30s, that they don't use e-wallets or mobile payments because they're not confident of their security or reliability. Indeed, the results of PayPal's Digital Payments Thinking Beyond Transactions survey released in August 2017 found that 51% of Singapore consumers surveyed expressed privacy concerns. 63% said that more payment methods meant more confusion for consumers, and 53% found it challenging to keep up with fast-moving digital trends. Separately, there is also feedback that e-payment interfaces should be much more intuitive so that they can help speed up transactions. Currently, some e-payment methods involve several steps that may yet require more time per transaction than by just paying with good old cash. Overall, there is also the problem of too many e-payment platforms and choices, and we need to accelerate systems integration to overcome the current fragmentation. So I welcome the Minister's assurance in that regard. The launch of the SG QR code is one positive step in that direction. Another often heard reservation about the shift towards cashless payments is that people will become desensitized to the value of money and will therefore develop reckless spending habits. Such an aversion to e-payments rests on the belief that physically parting with your money gives one the sense of pain and loss and can help instill frugality. Such concerns, well-founded or otherwise, can be easily addressed with some critical design interventions. Stored value e-wallets already highlight the amount remaining in the account and provide a helpful log of all recent transactions. Additional features, such as those allowing users to set a savings target for each month, can also help to nurture good financial habits, including fund management, budgeting, and credit management. Taken together, therefore, all these concerns highlight three salient points of action for addressing consumer resistance to e-payments in general. These are trust, design, and communication. I therefore welcome the additional consumer protections introduced by this bill that will help to shore up consumer confidence and trust in e-payments. I also look forward to MAS implementation of the e-payments user protection guidelines at the end of this month. At the same time, however, I would like to ask the Minister whether there will be greater attention paid to, 1, enhancing the design of e-payment services so that transactions can be speedier and more intuitive, and 2, addressing concerns about the negative impact of e-payments on personal financial habits. Also, with the burgeoning market in e-payment providers out there, some consumers are clearly experiencing cognitive overload and perhaps even choice paralysis. Hence, I would like to propose to the Minister that public education efforts be stepped up to better communicate to consumers the various options, protections, and incentives that they enjoy with the different emerging e-payment methods out there. In particular, I would especially welcome targeted education for the elderly who are less well acquainted with digital devices and platforms and may therefore be especially anxious about our shift towards a cashless society. Mr. Speaker, in Mandarin, please. 在通往智慧国家的道路上，我们必须依赖技术发展来实现无现金化。要做到这一点，我们需要增强消费者对电子付款的信任和信心。付款服务法案所提供的消费者保护款项对此有很大的帮助。与此同时，我们还要努力提升电子付款界面的设计，使它们更易于使用，并指导公众，尤其老年人如何使用这些应用。In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding the issues I have raised today, I support this bill.